Hello and welcome to this episode of New Books in January and February. I didn't record an episode in January because I didn't buy too many books for that month, but I have quite a few books to get through now. And this video was not meant to be filmed for today, but I didn't have time to record the other one that I had planned for today, so I'm gonna go with this one. But we're gonna start off with How to Read a Book by Mortimer, J. Adler and Charles Van Doren. It's a great starting point if you want to expand your knowledge of how to read books for understanding instead of for entertainment. So I'm currently reading this book, and so far it has been an interesting reading. I've learned quite a few things that I will definitely incorporate in my reading. And this book was perfect for me because I've been for a few weeks now building a reading program, and I might write a blog post about the reading program that I have built. But it covers philosophy, and it covers mainly Western literature from the Middle Ages to modern times, with the greatest works and the greatest authors that I want to explore in my lifetime. And let's move on to the next book. Here is an Everyman's Library edition of the Mabinogion, a Middle Welsh text written in the Middle Ages, a very early British literature. It is a good base if you want to start reading Arthurian literature, and I will touch a bit more about that later. But I also got William Langland's Piers, Plowman with Sir Gawain the Green Knight, which is translated by J.R.R. Tolkien, and also Pearl and Sir Orfeo included in this volume. And William Langland lived in the 14th century, and the Mabinogion is a bit earlier, around the 12th or 13th century, I think. But I will read the Mabinogion after I finish the Song of Roland, which I'm reading right now as well. And those two books were included into my literature program, and this is one of my starting points for my philosophy program, The Complete Works of Plato. But I will read an introductory book on philosophy because I have no academic background in philosophy, and then I will move on to a history of Western philosophy by Bertrand Russell, and then read early Greek philosophy by Jonathan Barnes, Penguin Classics edition, and then move on to Plato and read all of his works, and then work my way up through the timeline in a chronological order. And all of the books I will show now are from Ardis, the second-hand bookshop in the UK, online second-hand bookshop. And we're gonna start off with Hans Andersen's fairy tales, the Danish fairy tale author. And all of these fairy tale books that I will show now are illustrated by the Golden Age illustrators, which are of course very well loved. But yeah, for being second-hand books, these are in excellent condition. I got of course slipcased with them also. I'm very surprised by the quality that Folio Society used to have just a couple of years back. I think I'm more impressed by these editions than their more modern editions, I have to say. And then we have East of the Sun and West of the Moon, Old Tales from the North, illustrated by one of my favorites, K. Nielsen. This is bound in vegetable parchment, which is very similar to, at least in touch and the way it looks, with vellum. It's an extraordinary book, this one. A very thick paper, and it also contains color illustrations and black and white illustrations by K. Nielsen. And then we move on to the Arabian Nights, illustrated by Detmold. Amazing illustrations here also, and this is of course not the complete 1001 Nights, but there's a few tales at least. Here you can see the contents, and this one is also printed on very thick paper. And I do intend to collect all of the fairy tales in the fairy tales collection that Folio Site has that are illustrated by the Golden Age illustrators. And this is illustrated by the same illustrator. This is the Fables of Aesop, another excellent edition, and this book is from 2001. And then we move back again to Arthurian literature. Here we have the Legends of King Arthur. This is part of the Myths and Legends series that Folio Site has, those quarter-bound in leather books. There are quite a few of them. I'm not sure that I will collect all of them because some of the prices are quite high, I have to say. But it's definitely interesting books. And these books uses extracts from books like The History of Kings of Britain by Geoffrey of Monmouth. Includes very interesting stories, and this is illustrated by Roman Pisarev. And lastly, we have British Myths and Legends, which includes a lot of stories as well. And here you can see these sections: the origins, the early history of Britain, marvels and magic, Heroes and Saints, and here we can see that Beowulf is included here, which I read not very long ago, and also History and Romance. And this is also illustrated by the great John Vernon Lord. But yeah, that was also all of the books that I got for in January and February. I also did sell a lot of books, I have to say, in my bookshelf. It really won't be the same bookshelf in my next bookshelf tour. But if you want to see any of these books that I have showed today in our review, just leave a suggestion and I will try to get to it as quickly as I can. But otherwise, I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.